Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. This is the latest update. This is just set on 5 days. This graph hasn't updated. That's why it's showing 3:05 p.m. Okay, first off, lots of things to talk about. We have Isis right here, and of course, what is going on? So many people are wondering. I'm telling you, parts of Florida we're going to go over coming up, especially this coastline here. We're going to go over that. Looking like it may move inland a little with the track. Maybe 15, 20 miles to the west a little further, nudged over there. Why is this happening? Well, you know we got this big high out here. We know that it's what's really steering it as it's been moving along. Well, why should it go this way? We have another ridge right in here. And when it gets up in this area, this low ridge pressure system right here, what do highs do? They push. What do lows do? They pull. That's why it may go inland another 15 to 20 miles. We're going to check it all out in just a moment. Now, as we look at the latest update, the winds are 75 miles per hour. The pressure is 991 millibars. Tracking it, 22.6 north, 75.7 west. Is moving northwest at around 15 miles per hour. Now we have Tropical Depression 10 over here. We thought this thing was going to go away and be nothing, right? Well, guess what? The winds are now 35 miles per hour. The barometric pressure is 1,007 millibars. It's 15.9 north, 20.0 west, and it's moving north. Shouldn't be a threat to any of us. Moving north at this time at 9 miles per hour. But you know what? Florence came off right around this area. And Florence, that sucker trucked all the way across to my house. Well, now we got this. Disturbance number 2. It's a westward moving tropical wave. It's about 950 miles east of the Lesser Antilles. It's got disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Now, some slow development of the system is possible while it turns northwestward over the western Atlantic by early next week. In a couple of days, shouldn't be anything. In 5 days, though, we have a 30% chance. You could see by the graph a little while ago, it's going up this way. We'll have to watch all of this along with Hurricane Isis. So let's get to the tracking map. Now, as you can see from the National Hurricane Center, everything in red is a hurricane. Yeah, it's hurricane. Hurricane. I'll even show you. Warning. Hurricane warning. Everything in the red, everything in the blue. Tropical storm warning, as you can see. Only little watches we have is right up here in Florida right now. Right up in the very edge, almost going up to Georgia. Now, I'm going to show you something about Florida in just one moment. But all of this is hurricane warnings, folks, for the Bahamas, all of the islands of the Bahamas, and also when you come down to around Miami, moving right on up, this is a hurricane warning. Now, this whole coastline where you see these hurricane warnings, I'm going to show you more about that in just a second. Tropical storm warnings go over as far as Lake Okeechobee. So keep all of this in mind, and all the way down to southern Florida, right at the edge of the Keys. Now, on this tracking map, we move down just a little bit. Here we can see it's looking like now, you can see it's nudged over a little bit further. This hurricane sign was out in the water. Now it's on the borderline. Remember earlier I said half in, half off is what I thought it was going to do? That's exactly what it's looking like. Half of the storm on land, half of the storm over water. We're going to have to wait and see. Folks, this thing can change in the blink of an eye, but this is what it's looking like for this evening. Now, it should progress on up, everyone along. I really don't think it's going to go into Georgia. It could. right around this little area here. I think the next biggest landfall is going to be from South Carolina up into North Carolina as a tropical storm. By the time it reaches up in Canada, the Canadian area, it should be a post-tropical storm. Everybody up in this area along the coastlines, be aware, stay on top of it. You could get something out of this storm. Now, for everyone in Florida, this is what the wind looks like it's going to do in these areas, so far as wind. Now, we'll start out with the red, okay? We'll come over here. You can see from Pompano Beach all the way up, West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Palm Beach, Melbourne, all the way up, everywhere in the red. You guys could have anywhere from 74 to 100 mile per hour wind and wind gust. Now, when we come over to the orange, which goes down to Miami, moving right on through all the way up to the western side of Orlando, all the way up, as you can see, almost to the Palm Coast, you guys could have 58 to 73 mile per hour winds. And everybody else in the yellow areas, as you can see, here's Coral Springs, the city of Orlando, Palm Coast, all of these areas. We'll move down. This goes all the way up into Jacksonville, right up in this area here. And we'll come down as far as we see here. You can see Miami could get some of these 58 to 73 mile per hour winds also. But once again, everybody that's in the yellow, 39 to 57 mile per hour winds is what you can expect. As of right now, I can't stress this enough, as of right now, because this could change. But this is for storm surge. Storm surge, all the way from Port St. Lucie in the orange, Palm Bay, Melbourne, moving on up the Palm Coast. You can see everywhere in the orange, you guys could get 3 to 4 feet of storm surge. Everywhere else down in Miami and down in a little bit more of the southern section of Florida and Pompano Beach areas, West Palm Beach, the yellow, moving on up all the way to Jacksonville, you guys could get anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of storm surge. When we get to the rain, it's looking like everybody's going to fare about the same amount, from Miami all the way up to Jacksonville and a little north of Jacksonville, along the coastlines and inland a little ways, looking like everybody's going to probably be getting at least localized flooding. There's going to be localized flooding. Now, if you live right on the coast, you know you're going to get some flooding. If you live a little further inland, you live close, maybe some rivers, creeks, low-lying areas, everybody has a chance of localized flooding. So far as the threat of a tornado itself, there is none at this time. At this time, there is none. This will probably change when it actually gets to you a little closer. But as of right now, no threat of tornadoes. Now, when it comes to eastern North Carolina, wow, hurricane, and you can see right here, Hurricane Isaias. It's just about anywhere in eastern North Carolina. The wind threat, anywhere in eastern North Carolina. The marine, the high risk for rip currents, all the coastal and nearshore waters. Storm surge, anywhere along the coast of eastern North Carolina. Chance for localized flooding and flash flooding, the very same. And the elevated threat from tornadoes anywhere in eastern North Carolina. And this is all occurring Monday morning through Tuesday morning. Monday morning through Tuesday morning. So we've got 24 hours of this stuff to go through. One of the biggest things that we have to worry about with this storm as of now is, of course, it's going to be very rough seas, but it's the wind. It's the wind. Yes, we have a little chance of some storm surge, flash flooding, the rivers flooding, tornadoes, of course. But anybody who works on a boat out in the sounds and the oceans, you guys, please be careful. You have a good threat. It's going to be very rough. But for everybody else in eastern North Carolina, the wind is going to blow. It's going to blow with an average mostly along the coast and the intercoastal areas. We could see 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts with sustained winds 50 to 68. So keep that in mind. It's going to be the wind. And as you can see here, this is the highest sustained winds. I told you 60s, 50s someplace, looking like Greenville in the lower 50s. Out around Ocracoke 43, up around where I live, we got the highest with the 60s, and I'm telling you, they might reach 70, okay? All depends on how much land this goes over and where Hurricane Isaias makes landfall. Now, when we talk about landfall, I think it's going to be somewhere between Myrtle Beach and a little of North Carolina, right up in this area. It could be a little further south in South Carolina right here. It could be. We're going to have to wait and see. Right in this area, right in here. As I make a little circle, you can't see, but you see the cursor going around. I think landfall will be in this area right here, as of now. Please click show more down below this video, and I'll have all of this stuff listed for you. I'm not going to read it all, but you'll have all your information there. We do have this hurricane warning, though, in effect for the east coast of Florida from, excuse me, I got choked, from Boca Raton to Volusia, Brevard County line. The hurricane watch is in effect from Volusia, Brevard County line to the Flagler, Volusia County line, from south of Boca Raton to Hollandale Beach. Now, storm surge watch in effect for the east coast of Florida from Jupiter Inlet to Ponte Verde Beach. Tropical storm watch in effect from Flagler and Volusia County line to Point Verde Beach. So you see it all right here. We still do have everything going on, as you can see, over in the southern Bahama area. I'm going to put all of this down here, the storm surge watch. All of this will be listed for you, as you can see right here. Now, we do want to check on the winds right quick and how high they may be. Now, according to the National Hurricane Service, within 24 hours to 36 hours, that is when you guys in Florida should be having most of your stuff going on, looking like 85 to 80 mile per hour winds, as I showed you in the other graphical forecast charts, and that was from the weather stations in your areas, okay? It's going to be Category 1 hurricane winds up and down the coast. Please be aware and please stay safe. Please share this information with your family, friends, and on your social media to help me make people aware and safe. I would appreciate it so much. Thank you for my donations that you give me. They help so very much. And most of all, thank you for subscribing and being my friend. I appreciate that so very much. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click the bell, check off all, to ensure you get all the latest in my weather videos. With that all said and done, I've showed you everything that is going on as of now. As you can see, this storm, Hurricane Isaias, it's just going to be a mess, and it's going to go across the eastern central Florida and along the coastlines and across the Carolinas to the mid-Atlantic, even also some possible minor flooding across the eastern Carolinas into Virginia early next week. So stay safe, my friends. Have a good evening, a safe evening, a blessed evening, and peace, love, and kindness to all. Thanks for watching.